I first met Father King in 1971 when I was a freshman at Walsh Jesuit. I had him for freshman theology.
I started at Walsh Jesuit in 1988. I was hired as a development director here at the school.
Father King was my counselor, and then he was also my teacher.
Father King had been away from the school for a couple of years helping with the province with vocations. And he walked into the dome at that point, and it was like a rock star. Everybody knew him and came up hugging, kissing him. He was just such a beloved person right away.
I remember being a freshman at Walsh Jesuit and just hearing from the upperclassmen, you have to get Father King. He'll be your favorite person that you meet while you're at Walsh.
He is a very humble person and always has been. And I don't think he would think of himself as a legend in any way at all. I think he sees himself as a Jesuit priest fulfilling the call that God has given him.
I believe Father King's greatest impact on the Walsh Jesuit community, I think it revolves around his emphasis of peace.
Shalom, that's, or peace, that was kind of his trademark greeting. And I think it was important to him to use that term because he is a man of peace.
And it didn't matter whether it was a student, whether it was the homeless on the street, or one of his colleagues. He thought everyone should have peace in their heart and spread peace throughout the world.
He just had this very calming presence. And when you think, I can think back to being in his office for counseling sessions, and he would be leaning back and he would just be so calm. Sometimes his eyes were even closed while he was talking to you because it was just like, it was the most calming interaction. And sometimes thinking back to that, it can help you calm down even in stressful situations now, that follow your gut, you're gonna be fine, do the right thing and it'll work out.
Well, he was always very dynamic, very animated, very interested in all of the students.
Father King talked so much about making sure that we included prayer in our daily lives and that we took that time and we spent that time in the quiet and with God. He came to our track meets, he came to different sporting events, and he took the time to support all of us.
He also was very instrumental in our campus ministry program. The Campus Ministry Center is named after him, as a matter of fact. He was on the school's first Kairos back in 1988.
Father King was the same, whether it was in the classroom or out of the classroom, sometimes even on the altar, right? Very, very much the same person throughout.
It wasn't the possessions that someone had or what their job was or what their position was. He was very much concerned about the person as an individual, and he always worked hard on that, and that's why his work with Labra, which is working with the homeless, became so important to him. He thought every person deserved the dignity to be recognized and to be loved, and he always emphasized that more than anything else.
But he always talked about how we were all too busy. We were kids and we were way too busy in life. And he told us that if we ever reached a point where we were too busy to pray, then we were officially too busy.
He was an employee the very first time students walked through the doorway. He was here for a total of around 43 years.
I think it's just such an amazing legacy that one person could have made such a difference in an institution that's now 50 plus years old.
He certainly knew just about everyone who walked through the hallways of Walsh Jesuit one time or another.
So I think that Walsh Jesuit will forever be indebted to Father King because of the way he gave his life in service to the school and to the community.
Over the last 15 years, there's been a great deal of talk about another person named James who's called the King of Akron. Well, in my opinion, there's only one true James who's the King of Akron, that's Father Jim King.
Good evening, Father Jim King here, reporting from Milwaukee, our retirement home. Thank you for coming tonight and supporting this great place, and thank you for the award you're giving me. I was born at a very early age. No, I better not go that way. You'll be here all night. I would like to go to 1964. My Jesuit classmates and I were assigned here for our tertianship program, the final year of our Jesuit training. We made the full spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius, the 30-day retreat, and helped out at the various hospitals and parishes in the area. It was also that year that I was assigned by Father John McGrail, the provincial, to be one of the founders of Walsh Jesuit High School, which opened the next year. A great, important part of my life. Once we were settled in, we did bring students here to State Road for retreat. Finally, I made my own 8-day private retreat here many summer times. I estimate maybe 30 times or more. It was a very peaceful time. I remember one thing, well, I remember many things, but sitting out on the back lawn in the early evening, watching the deer and the antelope play. Antelope, that's fake news. Anyway, it's been a wonderful experience, and I'm grateful to God for the many years I've been here and many graces and blessings I received. I will always remember them. This is indeed holy ground. And finally, I'm honored to be honored with the great Clem Metzger, who is a very good friend. I awfully commended him for the changes he made inside the house and on the grounds here. I'm happy this evening that my sister Kathleen, can represent me here. Hi, Kathleen. Finally, again, thank you for your support, for coming. God bless you, and shalom.